Coming up, more funds being pumped into the economy of Andros as the island prepares for a major leap. And discussions on value-added tax and its potential impact expanding across the country. The Bahamas Tonight, the weekend edition, starts now.
Now in HD. ZNS Network presents The Bahamas Tonight. This portion of the news brought to you by BTC Everyday.
A big push for local contractors and the overall economy in Andros. Good evening, everyone. I'm Candino Knowles, and welcome to the weekend edition of the Bahamas Tonight. Well, 14 contractors are now benefiting from a multi-million-dollar project that sets the stage for the country's first agricultural and marine institute in North Andros. Those contracts were issued yesterday during a ceremony on Andros. Prime Minister Perry Christie noting the impact for residents as the country's investment in agriculture is being taken to a whole new level. Julian Reed has more.
We are bringing to Andros what Andros has been waiting for generations.
Prime Minister Perry Christie says the 14 contracts signed on Friday and valued at $20 million will result in the immediate transformation of the North Andros economy.
Those of you who live here on this island, this is the opportunity for you now to sit down and begin thinking of the cash flow that will be in the community and how you will take advantage of that cash flow, how you will build your businesses of that cash flow, how you will be able to create a basis upon which you can build a new home. The government will follow this up with bringing land planners in to design this city that we're talking about, where people will have access to land and be able to get the land. It will follow like the day follows the night or the night follows the day, that we are not stopping at the creation of this. It's going to be a part of an overall program, a comprehensive program that will be of infinite benefit to you who live here. So please, as the Bible says, pick up your bed and start walking.
Well, since the signing of the first set of contracts for the Bahamas Agriculture and Marine Science Institute, BAMSI, late last year, Mr. Christie said up to $60,000 per week has been circulating in North Andros. The amount of money in circulation will obviously multiply now. But in addition to growing the economy, the establishment of BAMSI will also create diverse opportunities for Bahamians.
We're going to have Bahamian scientists working full-time in Andros, studying our waters, what our waters can produce. Listen, this school will be ocean farming cobia for export. And what they just have to do is make sure have the technology of the nets to protect the fish as they grow from the sharks that will try to cut the nets. But listen, this is going to be so special.
And Androsian farmers will play an integral role in the development of BAMSI.
The Androsian farmers will be a part of the institute. The institute will be meeting with the farmers. They will all get together. They will all work out what they're going to be planting. We're going to have a packing house that is specially built. One part for the local farmers, one part for the produce from the school. And we are going to be working together, showing farmers best marketing practices, finding markets for the farmers, making sure that they succeed.
What's crucial is how the investment is already changing lives here in North Andros. A local official said that there were several men who had to rely on social services to feed their families, but now they no longer have to, thanks to BAMSI. At BAMSI in North Andros, I'm Julian Reed for ZNS Network News.
Well, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Works, the Honorable Philip Davis, outlined government's rationale for awarding the contracts.
I was directed as the Minister of Works to ensure that we give contracts to Androsians, because this is for Andros. This is for Andros. And so all of the contracts are being given to persons who either are born in Andros or have roots in Andros or have some ancestry in Andros. And each of these contractors have been directed to ensure that, first of all, that the employees who are going to work on these projects will first absorb all of the unemployed contracting workers in Andros. That's their mandate. They're also been directed that all the subcontract works, like the plumbing and the electrician, will be given to Androsians. Now, when they've all been absorbed, then they can look at Cat Island, Rumkey, and so on.
Now, this is the single largest investment on Andros and the single largest investment for agriculture by government. The Bahamas Marine Science Institute will cost approximately $40 million. But according to Executive Chairman of BAIC, Arnold Forbes, the value to the Bahamian economy will be much more.
We take this very seriously. We take food security, food sustainability very seriously, because we are not there now. But with the implementation of this institute, we will move that much closer to food security in our land. You see, without food security, we are not truly independent. We depend on others to put bread on our table. We hope that this institute will bring an end to that dependency. The Bahamas is a beautiful country, but without food security, our lives and our existence depends on others and other countries. That comes to an end today.
Now, Forbes says that while the Bahamas has the economic strength to import food, that position threatens our food security and is unsustainable. Forbes says BAMC and its location on Andros will help eliminate that dependency.
Agriculture has the potential in our land to be one of the pillars of our economic prize. Agriculture is the way forward for the Bahamas in the future. Andros is the 5th largest island in the Caribbean, not in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean, with arable land and an abundance in water. Why aren't we using this to our benefit? Today, this institute will bring us that much closer to food security and food self-sufficiency in our country. Our Prime Minister is to be commended for his vision and the legacy that he is about to achieve with the establishment of this institute.
Also at that contract signing yesterday, North Andros MP Dr. Perry Gomez, who commented on the transformation of the community, saying it's an election promise come true. He pointed out that when the PLP government was elected in 2012, there was only $3 million in the public treasury, and salaries alone cost the government $50 million a month.
We came into office and met no money in the bank. $3 million. That's all that was in the bunch in the treasury. Do you all know what the cost is to pay the civil service salaries on a monthly basis? Well, I asked the question when I heard it was only $3 million in the cookie jar, if I put it that way. But it's $50 million a month that the government has to find to pay the salaries of civil servants. And so that gives you an idea of the difficulty that this government met when they came to office. And so we have survived 18 months and getting better. And it makes this accomplishment mean that much more. Because how in the world did he find the money, given everything else we had to do just to keep the country going? And I think that in itself speaks to the character of this man.
Well, still on news from Andros, Progressive Liberal Party supporters assembled in North Andros today for the first in a series of mini conventions expected to be carried out throughout the country. The one-day conclave, dubbed the Way Forward for Andros and the Berry Islands, attracted a broad list of speakers, including Prime Minister the Right Honorable Perry Christie. Party Chairman Bradley Roberts also addressed convention delegates. Plans for the development of Andros and the Berry Islands among the high points of the presentations. More from Andros, that mini convention in Andros, in a later newscast. Well, with CIBC First Caribbean Bank announcing the pending layoffs of dozens of workers this week, the issue regarding the movement of skilled workers in the region has surfaced. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says back in 2006, when he attempted to advance the cause of the Caribbean single market economy, Bahamians were not sold on the idea. And some might see it now as a big mistake, particularly as the jobs of hundreds of workers in the financial services industry are in jeopardy.
I made it clear to the Bahamian public that there were benefits to joining the single market, which would mean the ability of Bahamian employees at a certain level to move throughout the Caribbean seamlessly and to work. The Bahamian people rejected those arguments, so it's a bit of a dead matter. But the fact is that as a foreign minister, what you try to do is you try to be proactive in seeking to put your country in a defensive position in its own best interests. And sometimes people don't accept that you have it right, and so you accept that that's where it falls.
Now, Minister Mitchell also told ZNS News that the Immigration and the Department of Labor are concerned about the downsizing happening at these banks, particularly in the face of recent government policy which holds foreign banks accountable for employing Bahamians.
What I want to find out is whether or not this has anything to do with the new immigration strictures that we're placing on the domestic banks, because we've told them that the domestic banks must be entirely Bahamianized. And the question is whether this is a reaction to that. Because if it is, then I will be suggesting some additional measures, because I don't believe that you should have a situation where these loans collections departments are being moved to countries other than the Bahamas, and assets that they're seeking to recover are being done outside the Bahamas. There seems to be something wrong with that, and it may be that we have to involve ourselves in trying to get to the bottom of it.
Well, coming up, Grand Bahama residents present their views on value-added tax to government and the possible impact for that island. You're watching The Bahamas Tonight.